I'm going to do this set of videos. I want to do an introduction right now, and then I want to do a video on each of the Ashtanga series, and how I feel like each of those series actually is telling a story, and it's doing it both symbolically through the names of the postures, and also it's doing it energetically in our bodies, like through just what's happening with how I think it's moving energy. So I'm going to do, a separate video and try to make them short. I don't want it to be like too long, because I just want this to be like, oh, this is interesting. Not that I want to tell anybody like how they should experience their practice, but I found that this was interesting for me, and it's given it kind of a lot of meaning. So the introduction part, I'm going to talk about 3 ways that the Mahatmya and Ashtanga seem to correlate. So the Mahatmya, just by way of introduction, is a set of stories that are told as part of the Markandeya Purana. And those stories, as part of that text, have been like taken out of that text and are chanted as a ceremony. So the way it's done, there's a format. There are certain recitations that are done prior to starting those stories, and there are certain recitations that are done after chanting the stories, and that is very similar to Ashtanga, right? We do sun salutations, we do standing series, then we do one of the Ashtanga series, and then we do closing. So format was similar. That was the first thing I noticed, I think. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then also the Mahatmya, when you chant it, it is long. It can take, minimum probably 3.5 hours to do the whole thing. And so there are prescribed methods for chanting it if you need to break it up, instead of, sitting down and doing that whole thing. And that's similar to Ashtanga, how we have, the way I learned it, 4 series. So the Mahatmya, there are ways of doing it, chanting it over a 3-day period and chanting it over a 7-day period. And then the other thing that I noticed was that the Mahatmya, while it's 3 stories, and the 3 stories that are told, they're each an episode. The first episode has 1 hymn in it at the end, and then the second episode also has a hymn in it toward, at the end. The third episode opens with a hymn, and then the 11th chapter is a hymn. So the third episode opens with chapter 5, and then what would that be, like 6 chapters later, there's another hymn. And that kind of corresponds to me with the 4 series that I learned of Ashtanga. There are 4 of those, just like there are 4 hymns in the Mahatmya. So I think I'll use that as an introduction.